Siana Meja again. I'm here having tea, and this is Ketepa tea. If you're a tea producing person, please send me samples. I really love tea, and I want to be able to promote your product here, as well as hair and all the other things. Now, today we are going to be continuing with the segment for market segmentation and target marketing. So today we're going to be talking about the tailoring business, tailoring industry, and I'm going to share with you tips. If you didn't know, I grew up in a tailoring business. My folks run a tailoring shop in Nakuru. And if you're ever in Nakuru, Pandit Nehru Road, she has wedding gowns as well as other items, buttons, things you can improve your outfits with. There's so many. So go ahead and check that out in Nakuru. Now, tailoring is very sensitive, meaning that there are two sides. There's a product side and there's a production side. So for us, we grew up in the product side, but there's a production side. So today I'm going to be talking about both of them, but mostly on the production side. Now, tailoring, when someone is coming to you as a tailor, there are specific things they are looking for. Most of the time, it's because they want a premium product and they're willing to pay the price because otherwise they would just go to the shop and buy something. And they want something that is custom made. They want something that is going to represent their personality, and they want something that is going to be relevant to them. Now, you could either go on the service business, that is the production side, or you can go to the product side, and that is where you find people in River Road and Du Bois Road. But it's not right now. It's mostly River Road because Du Bois Road is changing into beauty spaces. So this is where you find buttons. This is where you find threads. This is where you find other things. And I'm going to tell you the advantages of both. Now, if you're going to become a person who produces clothes, it means that you are more on the value addition side, whereby you take fabric, you add value. And if you're in the product side, you don't really deal with the production side. That means you can sell to more varieties of people because there's no shape, there's no design, it's just fabric, it's fabric. If it's buttons, it's buttons. And I've noticed a trend. When we were growing up, it was a very big business, but now people prefer to buy clothes that are already designed and then they add their flavor on them. You find somebody buys a white shirt and then they go get fabric added. So tailoring has really changed from the aspects of it being only customization to now being even designing other things that are there. And people have more exposure. They have exposure to Pinterest. So they go there and they Google designs. And your job as a tailor is mostly to inspire your clients, whereby they come with something they want and then you advise them based on their body types, based on their budget, based on the function of the outfit they want. And sometimes you can even buy outfits yourself and then you add your taste and then you mark them up. I know of someone who's surviving from making hoodies. They buy the fabric for making hoodies, they make hoodies, they custom make them for events, for businesses, and all that. And if you need the plugs, please write me down below. I'll actually share them with you. Now, who buys custom made items or who needs the services of a tailor? Now, it's mostly busy executives who need stylish and unique pieces. There are people who need suits, lawyers, architects sometimes, designers, people who newscasters, marketers like me. You want to go to a meeting and you want to have that power suit or power dress cut suit. And sometimes it's very hard. If you find one from Turkey, it's usually not the body type we are in. So if you can find a nice tailor, someone who will make a custom made suit for you, it's beautiful. And what they usually do, they'll give you a stylish design and they'll give you function and unicality. So you can decide to focus mostly on professionals. I know of a shop in Westlands whereby all they do is suits, and almost every politician goes there for a suit, either Kaunda suit, a suit, or something like bespoke also. They do suits for women. So many lawyers prefer to go to them to get something that is more custom. Yeah. And then there's brides and grooms, people who are getting married, they want their color scheme, they want their different body shapes of people in the wedding committee and wedding party. There are so many different people. So brides and grooms are also good people to market to. So with wedding gowns, like for me, I've seen the business, the family business, they import wedding gowns and then they list them out. So if you're in Nakuru, just go to Risi Emporium, sorry, Risi Shop, and you will get the designs there to rent. And I've noticed that also some people want custom made wedding gowns. So when you go to River Road, you find so many tailors there who they take your measurements, they have designs there, they've made mock-ups, and then they can make it for you. For people who are either maybe of their Corino sect, you don't want something that is showing your skin, you want something that is up top. So you can get that designs that are what were wore. They can also get designs there. So brides and grooms and even suits for grooms and groomsmen, and they can have the color scheme whichever they want. So you can target those categories of people. You can also target pregnant women. They want to be stylish, they want something comfortable, they want something unique, and also they want something that takes off the eyes from the pregnancy. They want also their personality to show, and whatever emotions they're going through, they want something that works. And they want something they can grab in, just wear, and not worry about it itching their skin. You know, at that time, someone is very sensitive. They don't like a lot of things and they like a lot of things. So you can target pregnant women by making them good outfits so that they can stop wearing diras as their official pregnancy wear. You make something nice, some nice cotton, some nice silk, so they feel beautiful at the same time. There are many, every woman at some point will either experience that or have a friend who's going through that. So the women can shop for each other and they can also shop for themselves. So you build a name by that. Another one is fashionistas. These are people who have personality and they want to show it off. So they're willing to spend more because they want to put a stamp on this is what I wore. They go to these events, they go to those gala events, they want to be taking pictures. Some of them they are influencers and they want to stand out maybe in baby showers. In like you've seen like those events with Jumia where people are told to wear black. And then every influencer has a different design. I'm sure tailors mostly made those outfits. They made custom made outfits to represent them. So you could also contact influencers, or you could work with your pastor or your or pastor's wife and get your brand out there. The choir, those are people who are fashionable and they're in limelight. So you could work with that as well. Now there are people who have special needs. Now there are people who either because of a phase of life, either they've aged, so they are on wheelchairs, and sometimes I've noticed that you find their outfits are not fitting well, so it gets stuck in the wheel. So if you can create outfits that are wheelchair friendly, as well as some people have disabilities, someone doesn't have one leg, doesn't have one arm, and then they have a coat that with the arm hanging, so you can help to create an outfit that is custom made. And it's a big business because some people are actually disabled and they have the money, they have the resources, but they are not recognized. And the people who recognize them, they usually just chop off outfits. They don't make custom made outfits. So it will be advisable, although they say they are differently able, not disabled. I apologize for that. So the differently abled community needs someone who's going to take care of their fashion needs. Someone has albinism and they need a hat. Instead of them wearing that hat that is worn by all tourists, you can create beautiful hats for them and nice Ankara fabric to showcase also their fashion. Something that also it's see-through or it's silkish. It doesn't allow a lot of light, so they can also enjoy the fashion essence. So you can also target that. Now, another one is athletes, people who need swimwear, people who need clothes for dancing, people who need to represent the country. I've seen that with the hoodies where someone does branding, like the way Brand 254. They make shirts and hoodies that are for athletes, people who are going out of the country. And also you can design swimwear because most of the swimwear that is sold is imported and mutumba. You can create even gym wear. I've seen celebrities create their own gym line. So you could also create active wear that is for good people who are willing to pay their price and they want something unique. They don't want to go to the gym and look like everyone else. Okay. There are other people who are collectors. So here you could make items that are either copies of vintage outfits, or it could be a collection that you do like 9 pieces, and then people who are into fashion so much they'll be like, oh, I'm the only one of 9 that owns this outfit from this designer. That can also fall into the category of like bags. I remember there was an artist who was making these tote bags and they used to have an African face and those things were collectibles and he would alter something every season and then people would run to buy and have a piece because it's like wearable art. So that is also something you could do. I know someone who makes helmets and then they put African print on the helmet. So people who are bikers, they have a fashionable Ankara looking helmet. So that is also something else. And also it helps awareness about safety and something like that. You could also work with clothes sellers. So let's say maybe you are very good at steaming them. So you set up a shop near like Taveta Road, whereby there are people who sell second-hand clothes, or maybe there are people who sell like Sunbeam, people who sell second-hand clothes, and then you're the official tailor. So when someone buys a dress and it doesn't fit them, they bring it to you. Then you sew it up, you make it to size, as well as people who sell turkey clothes. Sometimes turkey clothes, the color is good, the client is in a different body type than it. Maybe expand kidogo ama upunguze kidogo, you add some elastic band or move the zip. So you can become someone who customizes outfits. I've seen that also with suits, where every shop that is sells custom suits, maybe Sir Henry or something like that, they have a tailor who can come, and at a price you can actually alter the size. So you can become that tailor for most people. Now, so why do people buy custom services? Either because they want high quality items, like someone who's a professional, they don't want an outfit that can easily rip, or with time it will tear, or it just looks tacky. So you find most of those professionals, like I remember there's a time I went to Village Market, and there's a shop upstairs where they were selling a suit at 300,000. That's around $30,000. Yeah, yeah. That's $30,000. And the suit was, I think it was one of those designers, and it was impeccable. And I'm imagining like there's a professional who they need to wear that kind of suit in order to fit in with these categories of CEOs. He can't go there with a suit that is wrinkled, or he can't even mention who made the suit. So you can decide to target men of a certain category and certain genre. You can decide to target journalists, and then you create a brand that is good for them, something that captures them well and doesn't, you can choose which category. You either go premium, or you decide to do the repairs and all that based on where you are and what your skills are as well. And people also want a perfect fit. So there are people who, like I said, are differently abled. So they need outfits that are going to fit the functionality of their body type or the faces they're going through. Like if someone has had a baby, their outfits you can create like for breastfeeding, like you create dresses that have that option. If someone has had a CS, instead of them wearing two different pieces, you create an outfit that can cover them, and also it's very comforting. So it's finding those phases of life which people are going through, and then you create something that is a good fit. Now another thing is vintage designs, like I mentioned. You can also, apart from it being vintage, you can create a sustainable brand, which means we all know that fashion is one of the world polluters by the dyes that are used, by the fabrics that are left behind, by the overload, like all those clothes we throw away. Something tears, you put it in the dustbin, some people even throw innerwear in the dustbin, and then they go and pile up somewhere, and then now it becomes a harmful thing to the environment because it's non-biodegradable. So you can create a brand that is very eco-friendly, whereby you use cotton that is grown in Kenya or something of the sort. You do silks, you do fabrics that they have a larger longevity, instead of using the polyesters, which over time they stretch, they burn, they discolor. You create a brand that communicates that we are using the fabrics that are already in Africa and we are using them. And even maybe you can have a recycling business where people can bring in clothes, the same clothes you made. If they get to a certain point, they're older, people can bring, and you can do vintage fabric kind of designs. It's up to you and your creativity and what impact you want to make in the environment. Now there are people who are special professionals and they need clothes for that profession. These are people like in the military, watchmen's, bodyguards, shampoo girls, because they need an outfit that is going to keep their clothes dry. There are people who are in the cleaning business. They need outfits that they can work with without harming themselves with the chemicals and all that. Lots of people work in factories, instead of putting everyone in a dust coat, because the most Kenyan thing is when you're working somewhere, they put a dust coat on you, and that dust coat gathers a lot of dirt. It keeps a lot of moisture in. But what if we had outfits like scrubs, the ones that are used by nurses, whereby you can go to work, you put on your work outfit that is light and allows you to breathe, because dust coats can be a bit heavy and they make work a bit tedious. So you create custom outfits for people who are in service industry, maybe people who are in security, like a watchman, something that can carry a torch, it can carry a thermos and something like that. Even these guys who do deliveries, I've seen their tailors make these lunch bags with insulated fabric, and these lunch bags get to carry a lot of food and it keeps it warm. That could be a niche where you're creating custom boxes for motorcycles, for people who transport milk, for people who transport baked goods. Instead of these crates where they are on top of each other, you create bags that people can carry. Even outfits for those people who are cycling to do deliveries. Even motorcycle guys, they need jackets that are safe and warm and not so heavy. They're all usually in leather, and it can be heavy when someone has a full leather suit. So you create something that is heat insulating but also light. So tailoring has so much potential because people will always need food, shelter, and clothing, and it is up to you to set yourself up in the spaces. Now, if you don't want to do the service part and you want to do products, now that is where I grew up in, whereby you can import goods from Dubai and from China, and you buy buttons, you can bring in flowers to do designs, you can bring in threads, and actually, because do a lot of DIY, I actually have made a bag, and this is something also someone can do. I've seen they've done sewing kits whereby you can buy them, and if you're in Nakuru, you can go to the shop. They have the sewing kits, even for CBC. So you see, even CBC is one of the organizations that has introduced tailoring. So it's going to be a big business coming back. So if you're in tailoring business, you can stock the CBC kits. Go to downtown or even go to Nakuru, the shop, and you can get wholesale prices. And as you can see, this is my tailoring home tailoring kit. It has other things as well, and there are things which I never miss, which is like fabrics, pieces of fabric. Like this is an elastic band that in case maybe one of my hoodies or jackets tears, I can repair, or if maybe I'm designing something, I have something. I always have zips in here. There are things like seam rippers. I'm gonna take them as we're going through. They are beautiful zips. These are zips are a very long zip in case I want to make a bag for my duvets and stuff like that. Those are some of the things you could actually do. And you see, like this is a beautiful zip. I'm planning to design something, and I saw the zips. I was like, okay, let me get them before they run out. And you see, like this is like the fabric of Tom Hilfiger, the colors. So if I get a red dress, I can actually do this, or a white one, and then it will look very designful. Now, those are some of the things you can actually make. And you could create such bags for students, people who are going to campus, people going to high school, and this will be something that they can share with the parents can buy for them as a DIY kit, or maybe a new mom, maybe a mom whose child is starting school. You know how those buttons get lost. Those buttons disappear, like I don't know. So buttons for shorts. If you have a hubby, you can just have the kits you can sell to people who either they have young families and stuff like that, and they just need something to maintain their family, the threads and all that. So that is it for the tailoring business. If you have any questions, as usual, put the comments down below, and maybe I could feature your business idea next in the marketing and strategizing. And if you open a tailoring business, please, the one complaint that every person I've ever spoken to about tailoring is that people don't keep their promise in terms of timing. Always over promise, over deliver and under promise. That's what I meant to say. That means if you know this dress usually takes a week, tell the client 2 weeks. And then in a week, tell them, oh, the dress is ready. That is more interesting than when somebody tells you that, oh, it will take a week. And then 3 weeks later, they're telling, oh, this is now when it is ready. The event has passed. If it's an event, you don't like the dress anymore, you found an alternative, you got so pissed off, it no longer matters to you. And then when they call you, they want to resize you because even them, because of the workload or the people who are complaining to them, they forgot your measurements. They don't even know why it is. Also have a measurement book in your records. If you can, there are apps you can actually do whereby you save clients' name and details, or in an Excel sheet, save their details. And once in a while, always remind them, like, oh, how is the dress treating you? Maybe I can make you another one. Remember their birthdays. If someone is buying an item for birthdays, and then remind them, oh, I remember last time I made a dress for you. I know your birthday is coming up. Would you want something similar, or is there something you fancy? Like, go out of your way to create customer care in tailoring. I know most of the time the tailor is tired because they're on the machine, and I've had so many tailors tell me it's excruciating. You have cousins or young daughters, call them, tell them to create something for you that will help you manage your client database. Have SMSs where you send messages out. You're like, you know what, we have this coming up every 3 months, maybe send them something and go out of your way. Just because your business is manual does not mean the customer service has to be manual and rigid and tough. No, you can actually create something that is inspiring, and also you get longevity. Because if you are a family tailor, that means the family has decided you're their tailor. It means that the children's outfit, all the wedding clothes that are needed in that family, because people tend to stick with tailors who are good. We don't want to experiment. So I hope that was helpful, and I really enjoyed making this because I am very familiar with this industry. If you need to import things from China or Dubai with regards to the tailoring department, please let me know, because I have links there, and there's some things which also I know my family sells, so I could also hook you up. So subscribe as usual, comment down below. If you want to send a donation, details are down below as well. And also share with me your question. My jar is empty. I need questions to come in so I can address them here as a video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now, and thank you for spending the time with me.